you guys, welcome back to Wallington Filming Paint and Decorating Trade Secret. Okay, and today what I'm going to do is show you painting, well actually I'm going to show you glossing this particular radiator behind me. Okay, now this is in a new property, so you will need to sheet the surrounding area up, and because there's a carpet down, right, you've got to just mask up, as you can see, mask up around the skirting board and the pipes leading to the valves, because as with radiators they can drip onto your carpet, so bear that in mind. So basically I'm going to show you painting a radiator today in an occupied house with the carpet down. Right, okay. So one thing I should point out, when I'm painting a radiator in a property that's occupied with carpets down, if I've got the heating on, what I'll do, I'll just put it on like, put the thermostatic valve on like once, just so it's like warm, okay? So let's get started. Right then guys, as you can see on this radiator, these are the bits you've not got to forget about. This section here will want glossing. That section there, which is the bracket, that what's bringing in with a wall colour. Okay, so basically you've got to run your brush down here, that back edge of the rad, and also when you get to this section here where the valve is, okay, whether you need to get a smaller brush or not, I can do it with the same one, but you've got to smother that in so it'll drip round the back a bit and drip round there, and then go underneath and paint it. But that's where making sure you've sheeted the area up, and especially put masking tape on the floor, because what will happen is that will drip straight onto your carpet if you've not taped that section up. And also your pipe going to the valve, make sure you get your masking tape all around the carpet there. Okay, so just that little section there that you need to know about painting as well, and probably, you know, make sure you give that valve a little bit of a coat as well on the side, so that applies to both sides. Okay. Right guys, before we get started, I'm just going to show you how I've mastic this, put masking tape on this area. Okay. So as you can see, look, I've put the masking tape around the pipes leading to the valves, all the way across, double that, because what will happen is it can drip off here onto your carpet, right, and all the way down there. Then for an extra measure, I'll just put the sheet down, just put the sheet down over the masking tape a little bit. Okay, so let's show you how to paint this. Right then guys, what I'm just using here is some Dulux Trade New Work Gloss, okay, for this radiator. And as you know, I like to try and use whatever's available in a plot, saving me carrying around extra paint kettles. What I do is clean out one of the emulsion tubs and use that for my undercoat and my gloss, and when I finish with that, I'll chuck it away. Okay. Now this particular radiator, there's two ways of doing it. One is by brush, and one is using a roller and a brush. For this particular exercise, I'm just going to show you how to gloss this using a brush only. Okay. One little bit of a disadvantage with using a roller, although it's quicker, you can get bits coming out of the roller. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to show you just doing it by brush. But one thing I should mention before we get started, you will need a copper tip. it's still hot when you finish the radiator. So cheers. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is round the sides, skim over that top edge and down the other side. Okay, so let's get started. So like I say, make sure you've sheeted and masticed up so it don't go on your carpet. So I've just done that back piece there. Make sure you get that lip as well. Okay. And as you've seen, put plenty on that connection to the valve so it just drips around a little bit. Okay. Then the pipe, and this is where your mastic tape comes in handy, because it'll drip on the tape itself. Okay. Just do that. Top edge like that. When you've just done that top edge there, just skim across that front so it's not all dripping everywhere. Same again down here. Don't actually try and paint the fins at the back, because you'll just make a mess of that. It's like just not worth the headache. Just that back edge there. And what's happening already, it is dripping onto the floor. That's why you've got to put the masking tape down. It's dripping down already. Right. So what I'll do, I'll probably start by just doing X amounts of these fins from top to bottom, okay, and just work my way across. What I will do is make sure I get that bottom lip underneath there. So I'll just do it, coat that up there. One thing I should point out is this radiator has already been undercoated, and I've just like denibbed it with like a 180 fine grade sandpaper. Okay. Right, so I'm all set to do the front. One thing I should point out is the actual gloss that you're using, just put a bit of oil up in it, okay? Or you may know it as terps or thinners. Just put a bit of that in to thin your gloss out a little bit. You don't want neat gloss because it'll be dragging and like it'll start dripping and sagging. So just thin your gloss out a little bit, okay? And it's basically top to bottom motion. Just got to make sure you get in these little bits here, if it's got them. And as I say, I'm just doing this one with a brush show you guys doing it with a brush. Normally I would have like a mohair 4-inch roller on the sleeve. Which I'll be using. Just put a nice even coat on. And just thin your gloss out just a little bit, so it's, you know, it goes on nice and smooth. Try using neat gloss straight out of a tin. It's like going to be really hard to use. Okay. Getting them little bits there. So you go in the middle of it, them indentations. Like I say, this video is just to show you how to paint a radiator in a property with carpets down. The most important thing you've got to remember when you've got carpets down, like I say, is masking tape up and sheet the surrounding area up in case you flick the gloss on the carpet. Because the last thing you want is a bill for the carpet. Because if somebody sees paint on the carpet when you've painted in the room, first thing they want to do is try and cut the bill down, i.e. give you a bill for a few £100 for the carpet. So you want to avoid that. Quite a simple process. Doesn't take that long, even though you're doing it by brush. But by doing it by brush, you're putting a lot more paint on than you would if you was using a roller going across it. Okay. Just make sure I don't kick my tea over. Just keep an eye on the brush movement that I use. It's a good indication of how those guys paint. Not just a case of looking at a video to see how I do it, it's a case of looking and spotting how I'm using the brush. I mean, I'm just using a 2-inch brush here, but some guys will use a 3-inch brush so they cover more area. And I might point out to you that this is the 2-inch brush, the synthetic one, that I did a video on how to trim a synthetic brush for cutting in. So still using this brush now, and still looks quite good, as you can see. So check that video out. need good eyesight when you're painting these things, because if you're not careful, you'll end up missing a bit. But I will try and do a video on painting a radiator using a roller and a brush as well. Okay, whereas this one's just being done in a brush only. So keep watching, because I'll do that video soon as well. Another thing I should point out is, especially if you're painting on a warm radiator, is make sure you open some windows so you get some fresh air coming in, because what happens with undercoat or gloss or any paint is, if you paint it on like a radiator, the fumes come in the air quite a lot, and you'll end up with quite a bad headache towards the end of the day if you're not careful. So the tip is try and open a couple of windows so you get some fresh air coming in. Okay. Oh, so that's painted, well that's glossed, I might say. Next important thing to do is just check that you've actually not missed anything, missed any runs, missed any glossing on it, on the surface, so that looks all covered. And like I say, with a radiator, you're going to get quite a lot of runs, so just go near that top edge and check for sagging, because it'll run down there. Okay, especially this bottom section here, check for runs here. Okay, so what you want to do now is give this about 20-30 minutes, come back to it and check for runs, check for sagging there, and check for runs coming from the bottom of these moulding bits here. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll actually turn this radiator onto about 3 or 4 on the thermostatic valve. Okay, because 1 to 5, so I'll turn it up to about 3, get a bit of heat in there to speed the drying up a lot. But bear in mind, like I say, because it's getting heat, the fumes will come quite a lot in the room, so make sure you open a couple of windows. Okay, so I'll just turn that up to about 4, and I'll continuously come back checking for runs and sags, but that will speed the drying up, and should, with you turning the heat on, should stop it running so much. Okay, so basically that's how you paint, well that's how you gloss a radiator. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I'd just like to say, check out one of my fellow colleagues' videos on YouTube. Just type in on YouTube, not just another painter. Okay, that's his. That should take you straight to his site. Not just another painter. So check out my mate there on that. I'd just like to say thanks to all my subscribers, much appreciated. Don't forget thumbs up and comments most welcome. And you can also follow me on like Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, Instagram. You know, some of you guys start following me on Instagram and all the rest of them. That'd be nice to see that happening. Okay, so until next time, catch you later.